7:03, we'll call this meeting Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Everyone please rise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Mahler to give the invocation, please.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today to conduct the business of this county, and we'd ask that you would go with us and guide us and direct us in our actions and make decisions that would be pleasing to you and best serve our constituents. You know, Lord, we don't take time enough to stop and think about the many blessings that we receive as a people, the many just what we would think are simple things, the beautiful sunshine, the beautiful weather, the fact that we all woke up this morning in relatively good health. And God, we want to say thank you for that, because we know that's not an accident, that's a plan. And we need to take time to really appreciate the many blessings that are here. And the main one, I think, is the ability to live in this country where we get a chance to participate in the government and in the decisions that are made. And never let us take that for granted, Lord, because it's something that we need to hold near and dear. Lord, we'd ask that you heal the sick, that you'd be with our first responders, our military, as they serve both locally and globally. We'd ask you to look over this great nation and bless it, Lord. And most of all, we'd ask you to forgive us our many sins. These things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks, sir. Y'all join me in pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. This time I would like to take a moment here to do a special recognition. Judge Viavotny, if you and Eddie come forward, you want to bring him with you or not?
He'll choose to stay.
Oh, okay. All right. I was teasing and walked out to Nancy this morning. I said, "Are you here for anything special?" She said, "Well, maybe." And I had overlooked that on there. I remember signing this, but 30 years, Nancy.
30 years.
Yeah, you look a lot younger and held up better than me, and I haven't gotten 30 yet.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Okay. Certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Nancy L. Viavotny for 30 years of service to Wichita County. That's kind of a record, isn't it, for holding elected office that long?
I've been lucky.
That's good. You've been good, too. Okay, congratulations on reaching your milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work and dedication and loyalty, Wichita County is able to provide quality service to the citizens of Wichita County. In honor of your service, we are pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. Please accept your gift as an expression of our gratitude for the contributions you continue to make every day. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, we commend you for your service and wish you every success as you continue your career toward your next milestone. 40 years, maybe. Yeah. Okay. We do 35 too. Okay. All right. Your commitment to Wichita County is truly appreciated, but not only your professional, but your personal commitment, Nancy. It's always been a pleasure to work with you, and the people over in Burke obviously think well of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want to say anything?
No.
No? No. Okay, thank you.
Bye, brother. He said
Judge's
she
son, by the way, is the worship master at Birkenhead Lodge, too.
Wow. Okay. Was he a KA?
Honorary.
I started to say, we had a KA and a Sigma Nu, and that's when they go long.
All right. You know, you don't see many of those among elected officials 30 years.
30 years, that's a big one. That's
Isn't like
momentous.
Mark Brewer one of those guys?
Yeah.
30-something.
Yeah. And Janice Sons is getting close to that. Because she came in a year before me. So, all right. If I could ask the court to look at the consent agenda, I do have a correction to be made on item number 9. It reads, motion to file Wilbur and McKay plumbing invoice number 19020 in the amount of $4,075 for repair of the leak from buried chiller system piping and under concrete surface with payment from 10409.5003 capital expenditures to the line assigned by the county auditor. The auditor has asked that change to read with current payment by transfer from Department 511 supplies and operations budget line is available to the line to be determined by the county auditor. That was just, it's not a permanent improvement item, it should be a maintenance item.
Judge, I had questions too on item number 11. I just wanted to, us to discuss briefly if we could pull that
Yes, sir.
one down.
Yeah. You want to pull it down or?
Or it doesn't matter to me if we don't have to. I just, my question, if you're ready.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Was that we hold a lot of properties in trust that have not made it to the judgment amount due on the properties, and I feel like few people realize that this here is an option. And if you notice that the city spent just shy of $1 million cleaning up properties on our report just the other day, and you know, I just makes me wonder if some of that could be avoided if more were aware that this was available.
You mean the idea that they could offer less and that?
Sure.
You know,
I mean, we don't see that very often at all.
No, I'm liking the bird in hand because that 3,000 we're not getting, 3,315.75 we're not getting on this will become greater far quicker than it's going to sell for more than that.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's one of the things we've encouraged. The city does the property management for us and WFISD and that area of City View. It's, you know, it's important to go ahead and sell it and let it return to some use and do that. So.
Well, there might be a lot of instances, Judge, where if someone knew that that was possible to buy the lot next door or the property across the street or something that they just never thought was available or something that they could do.
Yeah.
It might encourage that.
But in our, you know, you don't want to over-advertise that, but we have had, once it goes the process, then in our agreement with the city, they can send us and take a lesser amount, but it has to go through certain processes before they can take a lesser amount than the judgment amount. So that steps it back a little bit. It can't be the first time it's offered. It has to be the judgment amount or more. After that, then somebody could come in and make an offer on it. Yeah.
Well, the judgment amount would obviously go to several entities, so
Yes.
that creates.
Yeah, it's prorated division of it, so.
But, you know, it's like the judge just said, that we consume that money quickly.
Oh, yeah.
In lot maintenance, that when we see nothing from. And
Well, you
get them
put
back on the rolls
back
quicker.
on the active tax roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let them be enhanced and come back with a stronger property than before. So I just didn't know how to encourage that to happen.
Well, you know, I've often wondered if we don't, you know, it might be worth having a lot of for sale signs out there. People may not realize, and they don't look at those legal notices of those to know, other than somebody has a particular interest or those people that deal in, but they look for a certain cut of that property that they can get a return on. So, you know, we might encourage the city to look at that part of that management. Okay. Anything else on the consent agenda? Okay, so I have a motion then to approve it.
So moved.
Second. Or go ahead, Mark.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Beecham to approve the item with the changes in it. I did have a question. I'm sorry. I didn't see the Precinct 4 report. Did you, Commissioner Watts?
He got turned in after it comes.
Turned in after you caught. Okay. So it's
I
in.
have a copy of it. I can pass it down.
Okay. I did want to say this, Commissioner Beecham. While the others meet the law, I liked your detailed report.
I just followed what was done previously.
Well, I guess I hadn't seen that attachment. I've only seen the other, but if you all looked at that, that's
Well, I did mine.
not what got to me. I just got your total. So you didn't.
We have a detailed sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, we just didn't put our details on there. We have the details.
Okay.
Would you like to see it? I'll provide
No,
it.
but I'd like to see it later, but I think that's, okay. Do you all ever then look and measure, okay, that's an ideal list. Do you ever go back and keep the records on what actually went against each of those roads based on your sheets you broke out on it?
The auditor tracks that stuff for us.
Okay, then, do you look at that to see how close your estimates were at that time?
The only thing I had was River Road last year, so I haven't
Oh, okay.
done that.
Okay.
I didn't chip seal anything last year.
Yeah, so, but you got that one because it's all captured in one and took everything.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't typically process a work order per se for a road repair where they're out patching roads.
Yeah.
We don't track that amount.
We track it for chip sealing, major operation,
That's
but
right.
not the
Yeah.
day-to-day,
That's what,
day-to-day stuff,
but not patching a pothole.
and replacing the shot-up stop sign,
I've got to go back to,
picking up the trash.
well, yeah, I got, your report said 5 signs were replaced, but every Monday you complain about missing signs.
It's the same 5 every day. And I say that in jest, but
It
it's more
kinda
true,
is, yeah,
that's more true
okay,
than you
yeah.
would know.
You'd think eventually those kids would all have one in every bedroom, they'd
You'd
quit doing
think
it. Yeah. Okay. All right, any other comments or questions on the item? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Item number 1 is review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment.
We reviewed the bills on Friday, Judge. I'd make a motion that we pay our emergency and regular bills.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Marler, second by Commissioner Watts, to approve the emergency and regular bills. Any other comments?
We paid a lot of attorneys this last week on indigent defense. Everybody needs to be aware that costs this county a tremendous amount of money.
With very little return on it from the state.
Judge, I was gonna ask, Trinity Hughes called me this morning, wanted to know about their check, and it was not on our payout today, so do we have a status on that?
We
That was approved last
approved
week.
a payment last week.
Well, no.
Now, Bob, there is a payment.
We approved payment last week,
Okay.
and there's no check today, so just wondered if y'all heard anything, or?
No, not since then. We would normally seen that on the
There's one
bills.
pink slip in there
and-
on the shelf. Do you know what that was?
You know, you might check at the auditor's office.
I think it might be on Devon's.
Okay. Maybe it got put in, well, no, if it wasn't on either list, because it could have been on last Monday's, it wasn't on this Monday's.
Bob,
list.
there is one pay statement in here on our normal shelf where we keep all the pay. I noticed this morning, I thought that was odd that it was by itself, but I don't know what that is.
Oh, it was there, do you think it fell out of the stack?
I don't know for sure.
It's in there where we keep the,
I don't have a check for it, Commissioner.
that would be odd
Yeah.
that it would be by
I'll send
itself.
a check to Trinity Hughes.
Okay.
I just wondered
Because I
if maybe
signed
it
a
got
change order that was
loose
approved.
from the stack or something.
So, okay.
I think I brought them in here.
Devin will take care of it for us.
We'll check. on
Devin,
it,
would you
so.
check on that? Okay. Okay. Thanks, Bob. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2 is discuss and review the jail maintenance project work orders. And I did not have a copy of that here. Thank you. Thanks. We got total of those work orders for this week, 18 completed, and 8 that were not scheduled completed, so for a total of 26. Lieutenant, anything particular comments or anything on the jail work order situation or projects?
Well, we are working on the tile. We are getting with Briegels to come out and take a look at that and see how much it would cost to get taken care of. I do have those jail leaks documented. They're not going to show on what you have here because I just received them this morning, but they're documented. And all the mop closets in the jail, downtown and annex, have been completed, reworked, better organized. Any deficiency in there, they've been fixed. Nothing else. You guys got any?
You have an update from Mike Piper?
Not from Mike Piper, but from Matt English.
Okay.
I do. All the leaks have been corrected with the exception of the conduit leaks. But that's because we need another rain to see if the fix that they put on it actually worked. So either we flood the roof like we suggested in the past, or wait for another rain, and then we will see if the conduit leaks have been corrected or not. So, yeah, that's just to be determined whether or not the conduit has been fixed.
Did you go look at the penthouse leak up in that corner? Did you actually go up there, Andrew?
I did not. I started talking to the captain about that. She said that she was going to take care of it. So I said, yes, ma'am.
It was pretty obvious once Mike stuck his hand up in there and pulled all that stuff out. Oh, I mean, he had to stick it up in there because the wind was blowing it into a corner which was really transitioned smooth. It wasn't like a dead corner. It was, and it just went right up into all the trash and everything. So hopefully that'll be the last penthouse leak we have.
Hopefully. Thanks.
Not sure it was good to say
Not with
that.
Texoma Heating and Air. They got up there and they inspected each and every unit on the top of that building.
Talking about the annex?
Yes. Every missing screw with the rubber washer has been replaced on every unit. Maybe that'll help.
Did they put little chains on them so they got back in there?
Pardon me?
Little chains on them so
No. Yeah.
get lost?
Any shower threshold news?
No, sir.
We're going to just, we decided that probably the best way to do that was to go ahead and go with, we're going to use commissary funds and pay those people to do it because we've been waiting for 2 months.
It's $8,000.
Okay.
You've been waiting months for
We
this
had- and we had-
inactivity on your part.
It's-
All you have to do is do it.
We had it all set up and then it got sidelined and so they were going to do it and we're just going to have them do it and we'll pay for it out of the commissary funds because it just needs to be done.
Did that include,
Wow.
Derek, at one time we had talked about moving the shower curtains a little farther in. Would that make any difference in
They
it?
can't.
No, I don't think we'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Just, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of room there.
Okay.
We're kind of limited on the options of what we can put in there. I think.
Okay.
just have to do it.
I just heard that at one time. They never heard whether that worked or didn't work or was going to be done or not done, and that's
You know,
all.
that's been a problem for years. The reason it's gotten so bad is because, and this probably is a question that should have been asked prior. It's been a while since you found out and mentioned to us our water costs out there. And we have changed the way we allow them to take showers. And I don't know if y'all have noticed any impact on what we pay for water out there or not.
It should make a big, and Derek, I'll get you that answer. I'll look up that specifically. You think it's been going on now several months?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember offhand when we changed the way we did the shower. It was back when they started the project on the shower pans themselves, that we had to change that so that they could kind of dry out.
Yeah.
And,
Excellent idea.
and if that has made no impact on the water cost, which I suspect it probably has, but if it's made no impact on it, then we may just not even need to do anything, because that is the thing that's really causing this water leak. And it just now occurred to me we should probably ask that before we do anything.
We'll
If it's not
look
saving
at that.
any money, we can just maybe look at letting them shower again throughout the day, because it didn't stack up that way, because we didn't have 24 people taking a shower in a 4-hour period.
Devin, would you send me the spreadsheet on the meter tracking on those different ones so I can work up look back several months? Each one is tracked on a spreadsheet behind the bill, as the monthly volume, and I can match up the accounts and look at that and get Derek an answer.
If that didn't make a difference, it makes you question
Oh, yeah.
the meter.
Because that's that
Yeah.
high volume meter and
Yeah.
it's trouble. So,
Devin, while you're looking at that, we're getting ready to change the meter over at the emergency management office from a 2-inch to a 1-inch, which changes it from $103 a month for the meter to be there at $37. I'm just wondering where else we have larger than a 1-inch meter. Does that say anything on the bill to tell you what?
Well, you'd go by the base, I'd say the
Yeah,
base
base
charge.
rate would tell us, yeah, it's 37 versus 103.
and Judge, it's changing to 1-inch or 5/8?
It may go to 5/8. They're
Well,
they're
no.
gonna let the plumber make that call. So that's
Oh,
what
okay.
Bobby Yo told me this morning.
Okay.
He was looking at what all the demand was and was gonna make the final call, but at least to a 1-inch, let's say that.
Yeah.
It could be a 5/8, but they were gonna judge the water usage and then go from there.
Yeah, because I told him there isn't, sometimes they call them 3/4, but it's the same meter as a 5/8, so
Yeah.
whichever it is. Then the next jump is to a 1-inch. And-
Well, he thought since that irrigation system was on his own program that smaller one would handle it, but he was gonna double check with the
Well,
guy.
he looked at it, and I think he said he talked to Emmett about it, and they've got 19 sprinklers on one of those runs.
Yeah.
And, but the big thing is, do something. Let's get a decision.
Absolutely.
and
You
get
need to
out
go
of
to the
it.
1-inch, that's a major
Yeah.
move. But anyway, they were studying that. And
It'll take about a year to pay out the change-out charge, but then
Yeah.
after that,
Well, and that was a question, and I don't know the answer. They were gonna check and see what our responsibility was gonna be, whether we had to do the whole thing or if the city was gonna do part of it, and we really didn't have the answer to that. They were gonna find out today.
okay. Right. Because Summer was going to send me the quote on that, but I don't know how much that means. Do they just
Yeah, I
change the
don't-
meter
yeah, or-
and tie you back in, or does a plumber have to tie you back in?
We gotta find that out,
Okay.
because we don't know.
All right. Okay. Item 3 is discuss and consider to award the bid for vegetation control services. Commissioner Harvey.
There's a packet, I guess Willie put up here. I buried it probably. Got with George, or got with the spray people. It's $80 a mile to have the edging done, and it's $110 a mile for right-of-way. It's right here. It's $110, I had it in my hand looking on the. What we did is we got with the foremans and looked at how many miles we could do. Looked like we could edge with the money that we have in our budget. We can edge all the roads one time. And we can possibly do 2 treatments on 50 miles of road. It's gonna cut it up in like a quadrant, the county, and just do 50 miles of road.
Of edging or full right-of-way?
No, full right-of-way in just a quadrant of the county. And really, like Commissioner Mahler said, this is it's a good test run. We can edge it all. That's not a rocket science, but we're limited to probably 2 sprayings on the quadrant. We're going to focus on our Johnson grass. Some places don't need spraying,
Yeah.
so why spend the money there? So we're just going to focus on a lot of the times, it's in a bar ditch where you can't mow.
Right.
It's just kind of too steep or whatever. So we'll spot spray a lot of places.
Do they charge you that, let's say you're going to spot spray 50 foot and then move, is it still that portion
You
of
pay for 50
110?
foot.
Pay for 50 foot.
Judge, it'll be on GPS tracking system.
And they'll give us a report.
They'll be able to give us a map that shows the area that was sprayed. When the boom comes on, the the counter starts, and when it goes off, it ends, and they'll be able to give us a detailed report.
And the
on
red here,
With GPS tracking, right?
Yeah.
yep, they come up to here,
It's like
stop,
what the air
they
lab
didn't spray
cages
this
do,
man's
right?
yard,
Same
and
thing.
start it again. And we don't pay for all that stuff, we only pay for when the boom is on.
It maps as the boom is turned on. Yeah, all the aerial applicators are using it now, and they
Yeah.
can.
Deducts all this stuff, which gives us more mileage.
They can bring you a data card, and it'll map it on your.
Okay, because then you could,
What is the best way to know where we're at today and where we're at this time next year? How is that best
pictures.
performed?
Pictures. I'd
Yeah.
say pictures would be,
And it's a problem because you got variations in the weather. So it's not something you can just nail down 100%, but you can get a good idea of what you're.
But, I mean, are those pictures need to come in the spring when we have green? Because, I mean, you take a picture now and picture next year, it's all dead anyway.
Well, I think you need to do it on certain dates.
Well, they're also gonna do a pre-emergent for that
Okay.
Johnson grass, right, Barry?
Right. When, did we discuss, Lee, and we talked about a lot of things in that meeting the other day, did we discuss when the edging application's gonna be? Because that's really important.
It has to be green.
Yeah.
The grass gotta be green, needs the chlorophyll in the plant
So
to
it's
kill.
gonna have to come up in June, probably.
When
'Cause
the,
you won't-
when the time is right, they'll
Yeah.
spray.
And when is the pre-emergent for Johnson grass?
Soon.
I
Next few
think we should have
weeks.
done it in January.
Yeah, next
Really?
few weeks.
Okay.
But we're still in the window. I mean, we're still okay, but it's
Yeah.
time.
oh, you got tomorrow.
It's time.
Well, he wanted to spray in January,
Yeah.
but like I said, I think you can go into February.
And
still
what is
come-
that, Barry, a granule or is it a spray?
Liquid.
They're doing
It's
a liquid.
spray.
Yeah. The one thing we're really interested in targeting, and our foreman all went out with him and looked at a bunch of stuff, and our target judge is anything tall, which would
Yeah.
be Johnson grass, it would be sunflowers. it
Mare's
would- Now
tails.
mare's tails have become
They're
a big
everywhere.
deal. That's our goal, and because that's where our main safety problem is, with livestock wandering out of that tall vegetation and just the inability to see well at intersections and things like that. So that's our primary focus, is any tall vegetation, anything over 6-8 inches tall is what we're going to target, at least on the first go round. This thing's got some challenges, but we need to know whether it's going to be a tool we can use or not. The only way to do it, I think, is pull the trigger and try some
Well,
of
if
it.
it's not successful, we don't plan on repeating it.
No.
Has,
That's why I'd just like to see, you know,
Yeah.
and like Barry said, maybe that is a segment every 2 months of
Yeah.
identifying pics.
Yeah, I think you go take pictures on the first few days of the month, or, you set you up a schedule, and we can get the foreman to do that. I think they've all got camera phones now and can document that deal, but we'll need that to follow. We get into a little bit of a problem in the summer because we're going to have a dramatic increase in cotton acres in this county this next year. And it's very sensitive. Yeah, and that's a good thing. But it's very sensitive, much more so than a lot of other crops to any kind of
But
chemical.
there is no, and we asked
Yeah.
that question, there's no.
No 2,4-D base.
2,4-D base chemicals that
Yeah.
they use, which is great.
Yeah, because that's where the main challenge comes in. But anyway, could be a good tool. We need to see if it's going to work for us.
has this been reviewed by legal to look at it from the standpoint of their liability in this? And
No, we have not got there yet. And
I've got it, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the contract, but we don't know how.
yeah, how good it is.
Yeah,
Well, in our meetings with those people, they assume all liability.
yeah.
And if there's a complaint, we pass it on to them, they go deal with it.
And I guess it's pertinent within this agreement, Meredith, which they did not have a form agreement. But in the agreement that we insisted that we had to have for this purpose, I guess it'd be important to list even the pricing for items that we did not take advantage of this go-round just because of the way we wanted to budget our money towards this endeavor. So I guess listing those prices in the event that we go
do
forward.
acreage
Be
instead
good
of.
to have, yeah. Help you do some planning.
Okay.
Be a good tool. And just to we'll clarify, we're not going to spray in front of anybody's manicured yard or any other somebody's fruit orchard.
A young growing crop.
Yeah,
Wheat,
these
cotton.
guys are very, very sensitive to that.
But with this proposal, do we not want to set a dollar amount for this fiscal year?
I think
Yeah,
it's set.
$60,000.
Yeah, it's already set.
Is that
For
the
3
total-
precincts.
For 3?
Yep. Jeff, Barry, and Lee.
I don't think that's the way you all budgeted it.
It's in precinct 5.
It's in precinct 5, but when you put the money in there, we only talked about 2 precincts, 2 and 4 are participating in it. So
I thought Ray was, or Mark was the only precinct that didn't participate. I
thought it was up in the air, it was undecided.
Yeah, and whatever we need to do, Judge,
well,
as long
I'm
as
just
we've
saying, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Because that was not, when we, as far as if you told me what had been decided, it's like a lot of things is up in the air, but the only 2 nods I got were 2 and 4 doing it. Okay?
I remember that discussion.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. The roads that we looked at, the mileage, we're anticipating only spending $20,000. And that would afford Commissioner Baller to spend 20 and Commissioner Watts to spend 20.
Okay.
If it's in precinct 5, we should just say shut up. That shouldn't be an issue, should it?
No, no, it's not, but I'm
Okay.
just saying.
I
That
mean,
wasn't the
and even
original.
if there's some money left over, and there's some that Mark wants to spray in precinct 1, if it's in precinct 5, there's some money left over and he's got a bad spot,
Yeah.
I don't see why he couldn't spray his bad spot also.
Yeah, and I think this go-round, if something really jumps out as a real challenge, that's what we ought to need to look at. That's what I told Jerry to focus on was because we know some spots where we've got challenges, and
Right.
that's what we're gonna focus on.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, no, I think what you were talking about as far as those very difficult to mow areas that can be sprayed, man, that's a boon to them.
If we just had native Bermuda growing on it, it
Yeah.
never gets over about 9, 12 inches tall.
Yeah,
It's thick, it keeps the ground from eroding. It's really not a danger to motorists that,
No.
you can't see around the corner. Some of those corners out there, Judge, has Johnson grass 6, 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And you cut it, you mow it down, and 2 weeks from now, it's 4 foot tall again.
yeah, and then you got all that fuel laying at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, and you've got wildlife, you've got deer, you've got wild hogs, and somebody driving down the road and one of them shoots out in front of you. It is a safety situation where they've got cover like that.
But if we just had
That's
good
where they'll
native
be.
Bermuda, we'd be great.
Yeah, it'll help. And it'll get better as time goes along. If you give it an opportunity, it'll take over. You give it a chance.
all right.
So my motion is that we accept the bid from Roadside Vegetation, or Roadside, get their name right.
Pending review of council
Yep.
and is that motion declares the dollar amount or did we just declare that internally?
We declared, internally, we budgeted 60,000. So we got their prices and we can calculate in each precinct how much we can get sprayed, as long as we don't
Okay.
go over.
And there's nothing that obligates us for more within the proposal?
There is not.
Okay.
No. I make a motion that we accept the proposal for vegetation management from Roadside Inc., pending legal review
Second.
and a signed contract.
And signed by the county judge.
Okay, signed by the county judge.
Who seconded that?
I'd second
All
it,
right.
Judge.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Harvey, a second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the item Any comments? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4 is discuss, consider, take action to approve a quote from Banknote Corporation of America for birth and death certificate paper for the county clerk's office at a cost of $715.50 plus $40 per carton shipping charge to be paid from Department 238 supplies and operation lines as available to the line determined by the county auditor.
So moved.
Yeah. This is an area that they do on a regular basis. This is that special paper. I'd second that.
Boilerplate stuff.
And it's budgeted item, I'm sure.
It is.
Yeah,
Well,
it
it's
is.
in 238, and that's
Right.
that records
Yeah.
management fund.
This is normal
I don't know if
operation.
she knows how many cartons that is.
She came by and talked to us, and I did not ask her. She said this is just what we've done in the past. I don't know how long that supply lasts. I don't know. I should have asked, and I didn't.
Well, and it doesn't come up very often. And
Here, and think $40 per carton shipping. That's a lot of.
It's just heavy.
It's just heavy.
Yeah.
It's like shipping
it's
copy
dense.
machine paper.
It's dense.
well, it's a lot denser than copy machine paper. I don't know about the death certificates, but the marriage licenses are.
Yeah, they carry a lot of weight.
Any other comment or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5 is discuss, consider, or take action to accept a repair of estimate of number 16917-E in the amount of $2,700 from Wilbur and McKay Plumbing for repair of the floor drain from a room of the 1985 Courthouse Edition with payment from 10511. Repair and maintenance, the auditor suggests changing with payment by transfer from 100.511.4452 repair and maintenance buildings to aligned as determined by the county auditor.
Judge, what we have here is there is a P-trap under concrete in that drain, and that's old cast iron plumbing, been there, well, since '85, I guess, or before that, and the concrete's got to be chipped out so they can get down to that level and then replace that P-trap and the surrounding pipe around it. And that's a tremendous amount of money, but it's one of those situations when you have old facilities like this that you're going to run into from time to time. I'd make a motion we accept that with the changes that you noted.
Okay.
So move, or second.
Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as stated with changes. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we're down to public comments. Anyone in the audience? Okay.
Did you get up and make pancakes for breakfast yesterday morning, Judge?
Yes, and this morning too.
I noticed, Judge, I noticed a nice compliment to your wife and Interfaith in the paper this morning and a letter to editor about their expansion of services down there. So that's a nice notification of, you don't really appreciate service clubs, charitable foundations and all that stuff till you become an elected official and you realize how much of the slack they pick up that government doesn't have to do because of all the many things, much like your fundraiser on Saturday. You guys went and cooked pancakes all day, and now you've got the ability to donate funds to lots of folks that if you weren't there to take care of that, some segment of government would have to pick up the slack on that. So we really begin to appreciate the work that all those agencies and service clubs and all those people do, and it makes a tremendous difference in our community. So it's nice when you see somebody recognized for it.
Well, it's kind of like she had battery go dead on her, and she got a new battery, and they don't change it out at the place you buy it anymore, and so she told me I needed to do that Sunday. Well, I opened the back of the deal to get the battery, and a shower chair falls out on me, so I know she went garage sailing on because she sees that stuff and buys that durable medical stuff.
It has a place. She's got a place to go with it, or will have. Yeah.
Because some of those things are not covered under Medicare or Medicaid.
Absolutely.
And so, and for some of the people that need those, that $20, $40, $80 for
It's
that
not there.
device. So she buys them at garage sales, but they really appreciate the ones that are donated, and the gosh, I'm forgetting the name right now. There is one of the health supply places will refurbish everything, put it in safe, working, clean condition for her, and
Ready to go.
so,
But there's so many folks in our community that just do something good every day, and boy, you really appreciate it when you realize they pick up the slack. They really do.
well, they're going to have a ribbon cutting from 4 to 6 on February the 14th. They're doing that time, get everybody out in time. That'll be Valentine's. And Judge Jackson, because they service Wichita and Archer counties, he's going to come over and help with the ribbon cutting on that. And so if y'all had a chance to make it by there, it'd be appreciated. Anyone else? Do want to say we really appreciate everybody showing up. We had 400 more than last year for the Pancake Day.
Wow.
And
That's huge.
I'm going to tell you the interesting thing, though, it could not happen for us. The Air Force has changed its policy on having people voluntold to do community service hours. And so on the Thursday and Friday, we didn't get near the help we normally get out of Air Force personnel. Now, Saturday, gosh, they were there tenfold. It was fantastic, along with our youth groups. And other people who are no longer, they're retired from Shepherd, they still come help every year because they were part of the civil engineering squadron that did stuff for us. And so they were our sponsored squadron, so they come do that. But the last 2 years, the flow, I used to be able to tell people, if you want to get there and not be in a line, come before 9:30 or come after 2 o'clock. Well, the last 2 years, I usually don't start cooking. I'm the last grill, and I don't start cooking until 7 o'clock or so. The last 2 years, I've had my grill on just shortly after 6 and had people there. And the flow is different. I did hear we got lined up back to the flagpole, but no one said they waited an inordinate amount of time in line and all. So it's just a great community event. As I always say, it's the largest family reunion that I know of.
Yeah.
And
you know, Judge, something that I noticed, and of course it's randomly on Facebook all over the place, but I just wondered if you could do some live postings of lines or things internally within the club that people could pick up on and share there that would be cool now that they have those features. But
you know, that's an interesting idea to show, kind
there's
of
an
like
opportunity.
those highway signs. This says it's currently a 20-minute
minutes.
event.
Good point.
But I mean, people kind of like to see that. It's a reminder, and of course, everybody grabs it and goes every direction with it, and that just got to help. So.
Well, this year's chairman was a young lady named January Jones, and she added a whole, including you can buy your tickets online now.
Oh, wow.
And but she also came up with an idea to have a great big wooden pancake with the hole cut out in it, so you have your picture made in it, and do that. And that went over.
Those. Mm-hmm.
That went over great until we got ready to load it in the trailer.
It won't fit.
And it was too wide to go in the back doors.
Oh, no.
And so we had to unload things on the side doors and slip it in and then tie it off.
See, what's the song, Lee? Saw 'em off? Isn't that?
Saw Marcy's horns off.
Yeah. Well,
Judge, how did the totes work out?
that's spaghetti.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Not
not pork.
pancakes.
That's hotter than hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought about your tote deal for that deal.
We have some more.
I need to go over there and kind of think through how that might be more advantageous to offload stuff and
Or you
do
can
that.
fork it then, if you got
Yeah.
them in those. What you do is just open the top, Lee, and use them for a,
Yeah, I drop them down about 12 inches because they're too tall to reach
Too tall.
down into if
Yeah.
you leave it full. So you cut it off so it's easy access.
Yeah, but those blue standards, we have out to tie the ropes in to queue up the lines. If you put those all inside, you could probably put them all in one of those deals because you could put them in
Upside
flat
down.
and upside down.
Sure could.
Stack them in there and then take them out with a forklift. So
Grab
you
the
might want to
forklift,
leave those
yeah.
tall because,
Sure. Depending on the purpose.
yeah. And because somebody had loaded them up on a pallet and brought them back there. Well, it turned out the pallet belonged to the milk guys and they had to have it back. But we debated then, would that have been? But they would have fallen off of there when you're trying to pick them up.
Yeah.
But in your deals,
Be fine.
then the other thing would be to look at, is there a good way to, I'm thinking of all the pots and pans that could be put in there and, instead of.
Even after they're cut down, Barry, you can still stack them.
Yeah, they'll still support.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they'll support one another.
Does that seal them off? I'm trying to think whether, because we have little critters like to come pass through there, see if there are any leftover
Doesn't seal 'em
pancakes.
Can't seal them because you can't get into them unless you put a plastic wrap, put a shrink wrap over
Well-
them. You can do that.
But I'm thinking those little
But they're
critters.
going to eat the,
Yeah. Yeah, I hunted forever the other night we had all the extension cords in one large plastic deal, and I thought, man, that's nothing but rat food.
oh boy.
And so we finally got it sealed.
Interesting, the pallets have become an art form, and they're not as readily available as they used to be. They were stacked everywhere. Now
On the
people
back
are-
porch, they're nailed up on the wall.
I know, people are using them for planters and headboards
Signs.
and all kinds of flags.
Flags.
all
I've got
kinds
one in
of
my
things.
back. Yeah, Chris
They've-
made a bunch of
They've
those.
become an art form, and they're not as available.
The other thing, I sent out a deal this morning to a number of the political organizations, both parties and the ladies' clubs, and to League of Women Voters. We are being asked to send nominees in for the silver-haired legislature, which you have to be 65, be willing to go to Austin for a few days on your own and participate in the silver-haired legislature, and I think that's in June or July. And so I got that out to see if there are people interested in doing that. The last time we had it was Arnold Oliver and his wife did that, and Dr. Capps and his wife, but somebody got ill during that point and the Capps couldn't attend that event. So I've asked those different groups to nominate somebody, and it's run through the Area Agency on Aging, but I called after this morning and they weren't familiar with that, and I said, well, here's the guy that says y'all are the ones doing it. So
I have a meeting at 3:30 today.
Mm-hmm.
Region 9, or not Region 9,
For what?
area agent on that.
Oh.
AAA.
Oh, okay. Ask about that.
Okay.
We're going to send the only old boy that doesn't have silver hair up there.
Yeah, he's not old enough. He's just a kid.
We could send Devin. They can't tell.
Good point.
Anybody's beard's still that dark. Either it's good Grecian formula or it's,
Just for men.
yeah. All right. Anyone else, anything else? We do have, for 11 o'clock, we're going to do a conference call with Mr. Tusa to talk about his proposal on our law enforcement radio systems. And you all want to take a short recess for 10 minutes and we'll come
Be
back.
great.
Yes, Judge, where is the report on the CTERS dollars? Do we know where we're at on with the upcoming report on?
We had a rough.
Yeah, and I asked for that, but I didn't send an email to back that up.
You would have thought Nancy would have followed up on that for you,
it's still
Judge.
over there. I did.
Well, she kind of counts on me to do my own house cleaning, but I guess it doesn't always work. You always think when someone says something like you did, I think about this Lieutenant Colonel came into payroll